Cass Sunstein, everybody, left and right, a lot of Republicans voted for him because he's very smart. He went to Harvard, you know, and taught there. He's got a tweed jacket. By the way, you know the first president that we ever started listening to people in tweed jackets? Woodrow Wilson. Say it with me. I hate that guy. All right. Sorry, I got sidetracked on Woodrow Wilson. Cass Sunstein said this week, in audio that we played this week, I should say, that the American people are like Homer Simpson. Oh! The American people are like Homer Simpson. And so, that's a good thing, because that leaves a lot of tools at our disposal, and you ready for this quote? So we can manipulate them. Oh, that was the hopey-changey thing I was hoping for. Manipulation. From the guy who takes the 2,500-page bills that nobody read and designs framework. It's called nudge. I don't want anybody nudging me. Get away from my French fries, Mrs. Obama. First politician that comes up to me with a carrot stick, I got a place for it. And it ain't in my tummy. Right now, the press is running out. I've got a breaking story. They are violent. He was threatening horrible things with carrot sticks. You can print that. Okay, so what is it they're missing? They're missing that people are good, that people will do the tough thing. I don't know about you, but I just want somebody to tell me the truth in Washington. I can handle it. I'm a big boy. It's important that you tell us the truth. We can handle it. The only way we can solve problems. Oh no, don't tell them the truth, they'll freak out. Are you kidding me? More than we have been freaking out? Total collapse would be a welcome. The American people are good and decent. There are what, 5,000, 5,100 here? This afternoon I spoke in Indiana to another 5,000 people. Oh, just salt of the earth people. Just salt of the earth. This morning I was in South Carolina with Clemson University. There was another 5,000 people there. The American people know. And they're all, I'm telling you, was anybody at 828? Have you ever felt anything like that? Let me tell you a story of a letter I got from a woman who was in the crowd. I read it on Friday. I was on my way to Clemson and I read it, and she said, I can barely see the keyboard because there are so many tears in my eyes, but I have to tell you this story. She said, I took my son to the Restoring Honor rally, and she said, I was standing there with my son, and long story short, she had to leave and go back to the hotel for a while, but she didn't want her son to miss anything. And she would be gone for about an hour by the time she fought all the cabs and the crowds and everything else. And she said, I didn't know a soul, not a soul. She said, but I had been in that crowd with these people for about 4 hours. And she said, I caught myself mid-sentence saying, hey, would you guys just watch my son for, I'm gonna be gone for about, and she said, I stopped. And she realized, that's insanity. And she said, I'm sorry. And she looked at the people around her, and she welled up with tears, and she said, I had forgotten. I just thought you were family. That's amazing. She said, when she said that, everybody, it's a Glenn Beck crowd, so everybody started to cry. And she said, these two men looked at her and grabbed her hands and said, we are your family. Your son will be fine here. She left, and the rest ends in prison and everything else, but no. She left, and she came back, and her son was fine. That's who we are. That's who we want to be. That's who we yearn to be. So let's stop screwing around and just be it. Just be the change that you want to see. You're welcome. I've met some politicians tonight. Ooh. I met some politicians tonight, and I said the same thing to each of them. And if their wife was standing next to them, I didn't even really talk to them. I just spoke to their wife. Does he have his soul? One of them said, I'm sorry, whose soul? His. Does he have? He's not collecting souls, is he? She said, yes, he does. And I said, I know this because of my wife. My wife doesn't let me get away with jack. Nothing. I mean, I said, you know what? No lies at all, not the smallest fib in our house. So now the phone rings, and I'm there going, I'm not home. She's like, yes, he's right here. The redwoods, the sequoias, are taken down, not by floods, not by earthquakes, not by storms, not even by lightning or fire. You know, I think it's the sequoias. The sap is a fire retardant. God is cool. You know what takes a sequoia down or a redwood? Termites. Little teeny termites, little teeny beetles. You got to get all of that stuff out. If you're a politician, you're going into the viper's den. You're going in, and they will find that termite and feed it and exploit it, and you will rot from the inside. If you are a wife or a husband of a politician, be the Terminex person. When they get home, spray them down. Because here's the thing. I don't know, because I don't trust politicians anymore, and I'm not going to give them my trust. It wasn't for us to give them trust. What were we thinking? Until we can get them in and out with term limits, so we put them in, it's kind of like, it's like Chernobyl. Do you remember when they were fighting Chernobyl? They each went in for 40 seconds, and then they pulled them out. That's what we need to be, because that's what they are. They're firefighters in Chernobyl. It's toxic. It will kill them. Get them in, get them out. Who's next? I don't know if they get it yet, but this movement isn't about Republicans or Democrats. It's about values and principles. And they need to know, any politician that is here, I'm going to be your worst nightmare. If you think you can go to Washington under an R or a D and campaign and say, I'm a good guy and I'm this, and if you're not, if you don't follow, I'm not only going to be your worst nightmare, I'm going to be the least of your worries. They will be your worst nightmare. America is awake. And the Tea Parties and the 9/12 groups will throw your ass out on the street too.